on the go. This is Valley News Live at 9 on Fargo CW.
All right, so we just had another brief touchdown south of Nicollet, about 3 miles in between the city of Judson and Nicollet. There has been a little bit of debris on the roadway.
We're starting tonight with multiple tornadoes touching down in south central Minnesota. This is video shot by Brandon Lewis near Nicollet, Minnesota. The Weather Service and local law enforcement also confirming that 2 others touched down in that same area. Here, we didn't see anything severe in our area, just a gray, cloudy, wet day full of steady rainfall. But let's check with Robert Hahn to find out if there's any trouble heading our way. Robert?
No trouble heading our way, and as we take a live look outside on the CorwinAuto.com Valley Skycam, part of the Storm Team Skycam network, as the sun set, we actually saw just a little bit of sunlight off to our west. The rain has ended here in the Fargo-Moorhead area. It continues for points off towards the east and the southeast. 66 here in Fargo, winds still out of the north, around 13 miles per hour. They'll stay northerly as we head through the overnight hours tonight, then slacken off just a little bit, but then pick back up as we head through the day tomorrow. Fairly uniform temperatures across the area, some low to mid 60s across the region, and we're going to drop on down into the lower 60s in most areas, maybe a few upper 50s across northern Minnesota. Again, winds northerly. They'll die down just a bit tonight in areas that see some clearing skies, especially across the Devil's Lake Basin and the Northern Valley overnight tonight. Could see some locally dense fog develop, and keep that in mind if traveling late tonight and early tomorrow morning. In terms of the rain, again, here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, that rain has ended, and that rain line slowly easing off towards the southeast, but still some pockets of some moderate to occasionally heavy rain making their way through the Elbow Lake area. Just another pocket over near the Fergus Falls area. And this area will continue to slowly get on out of here as we head through the overnight hours. Off towards the northern Minnesota, there's the back end of that rain, and it's slowly making its way off towards the east. Thief River Falls, you're done with the rain. Roseau, Grafton, Grand Forks, Crookston, you're done with the rain as we head through tonight. Off towards the southeast, tornado watch continues for parts of southern Minnesota. You saw the video just a minute ago of that tornado near Nicollet, and numerous reports of tornadoes earlier this evening, and all those tornadoes coming from the same storm as it made its way off towards the north and then turned to the west as it started to die on out. So numerous reports. Fortunately, it doesn't look like, at least we haven't heard, of any major damage with any of those tornadoes. As we head through the overnight hours tonight, we're going to continue to see that rain area get on out of here. It's going to take its time. And again, the areas that clear, especially in our western and northwestern counties, could see some locally dense fog and temperatures dipping down into the 50s and the 60s across the region. Here in Fargo, we're going to start off with some cloudiness, but then the sunshine returns as the day wears on. Our far eastern counties, a mix of clouds and sunshine and maybe a few isolated sprinkles. The rest of us see lots of sunshine and temperatures warming into the 70s and even some low 80s across the west. By tomorrow evening, we'll cool it back down into the 60s. Here in Fargo, we'll start off with mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the upper 50s to near 60. By lunchtime, at least some peaks of sunshine, temperatures in the low 70s. By the end of the day, close to 80 degrees, much warmer than today, upper 70s with a breezy north and a northwest wind. Picture of the day, it's a bird's eye view of Fargo. Thanks to Kurt for sending that in. We're going to use that as the backdrop to our 7-day forecast tomorrow. A nice day outside of those few sprinkles in our far eastern counties. A chance for a few late day storms on Friday. Saturday, dry and warm. A few morning showers and storms on Sunday. Latest model data saying, ooh, things kind of iffy about seeing the eclipse here in the Red River Valley, but that's a long way off. A lot of things can change, and we'll continue to fine-tune that forecast.
And about an hour after that, and to the north of that in the Twin Cities, 5 busloads of orchestra students were on hand for the Star-Spangled Banner tonight at the Twin Cities. We are told that they did perform. The game was postponed. They're all back on the bus and supposedly safely on their way home.
Good to hear.
All right, thanks.
You got it.
In other news tonight, the nephew of a pro-white activist says his uncle is planning a rally here in Fargo. We spoke with Peter Teft earlier this week after he returned from the events in Charlottesville, Virginia. Jacob Weber says that Teft told him that he plans to organize a rally in October. Weber says if it happens, he wants large numbers of people to stand together in peaceful opposition.
And, you know, we're going to go out and we're going to counter-protest him for sure. But, you know, who knows how many people he's going to bring. So if there are any people out there who are like, you know, DSA, Black Lives Matter, Women's March kind of people who want to come down and stand by us and march with us, we'd be, you know, more than grateful. We'd absolutely welcome that.
Now, we did attempt to get a hold of Teff to confirm his plans, but we haven't heard back yet. Police are warning people in the Grand Forks area following 3 overdoses in a short period of time. East Grand Forks police say that they believe they are related. All occurred within the last 24 hours and involve what police think is a bad batch of meth. The first overdose involved a driver arrested for DWI. Another call came in about a man saying his throat was slit. He was not hurt and was hallucinating. Traces of meth were found at both scenes, tying the 2 cases together. Authorities warn that someone suffering from hallucinations can be especially dangerous.
Well, the hallucinations is probably the scariest part, because when people do start having severe hallucinations, for example, the subject today that believed their throat was cut, there's no knowing what they may do when they're under the influence in that type of situation. It's not that any drugs, in our opinion, are safe, but these are taken it to a different level when you start having those hallucinations. You don't know how that person's going to respond. They might consider somebody else that's perfectly harmless to be a threat. They might, you never know. They might become suicidal. They might become homicidal. You have no way of knowing how each individual is going to react.
Police are asking anyone with information about this substance to report it to local law enforcement. Investigators are still, 2 women were arrested, and authorities are still tonight looking for 2 more people after a home break-in and an attempt to steal a vehicle near Red Lake Falls, Minnesota. It happened last night, the homeowner catching one woman and deputies catching another. The 2 people who got away are described as a man with a dark complexion and a woman with blonde hair, both about 40 years old. The 2 in custody are facing burglary and theft of a motor vehicle charge. No names were released. Investigators are still trying to find out what led to a semi slamming into 2 cars after it lost control on Interstate 29 in Fargo this afternoon. All 3 vehicles were southbound on the interstate when the semi driver had to stop suddenly and veered off the road. One of the cars came to rest in a Sanford facility parking lot that's on 38th Street South. The truck hit a brick sign in front of the building, blocking off 38th Street for a while. A child riding in one of the cars was treated for minor injuries, but no one else was hurt. With days before the start of a new school year, the Northern Cass School District finds its administration in turmoil. Over the weekend, Superintendent Corey Steiner was charged with DUI and speeding. Last week, a district principal, Ryan Lyson, was let go over an accreditation issue. Tonight, parents gathered at the Northern Cass Library for a school board meeting, hoping to voice their concerns. However, they were told there would be no discussion because the matters were not on the agenda. One board member did ask why Lyson was not given the principal's job and was told by the business manager that it was discussed at a previous meeting and would not be discussed further. After tonight's meeting, parents loudly questioned the board about Steiner's DUI charges. Parents saying children as young as 1st grade were talking about the issue and wanted to know what would be done. Parents were told that Dr. Steiner's charges could not be discussed during the meeting because it's a personnel issue. Classes for Fargo schools start in just 8 days. Given the recent contract negotiations being stalled with teachers in the Fargo School District, the district will be offering contracts that include $500 raises. Now, teachers are not allowed to strike in North Dakota, so if they individually they don't agree to the terms in less than 2 weeks, they'll be out of a job. Some wonder if all teachers will sign. District Superintendent Jeff Schatz tells us that he's not worried, adding that the district believes the school year will start and run as usual. Teachers can petition to reopen negotiations for next year's contracts after Thanksgiving. When it comes to work in the Valley, we have low unemployment rates and there are plenty of jobs, but some businesses are struggling to find workers. New restaurants like Chick-fil-A and Sonic in Grand Forks are looking to hire 100 workers each. North Dakota Job Services says a low unemployment rate is a good problem to have, and with college starting up again soon, there will be a new pool of potential employees to pick from. Unemployment in eastern North Dakota is below the state average. In June, the state's unemployment rate was 2.5%. In Cass County, the jobless rate was 1.9%. In Grand Forks, it's at 2.3%. If you were looking for a job, state officials advise you to find a job service center near you. Behaving like an adult these days, it's referred to as adulting. While that can sound funny to some people, there's also a serious tone. Recent surveys find many millennials don't know how to change a light bulb, Others don't know how credit cards work, and some can't even boil an egg. A therapist told Valley News Live today that generations growing up with a lot of technology aren't learning certain life skills.
Oftentimes we just assume that they would naturally know how to do those things. Or as parents, sometimes we forget that an important role we have is helping our children become independent.
The University of North Dakota is offering a class called #Adulting, focusing on teaching things like cooking, leaving voicemails, and taxes. We're just days away from the solar eclipse passing over the United States, and here in the FM area, it may be too late for you to pick up some eclipse glasses. We called around to dozens of stores reportedly selling them, and every place said that they were sold out. Now keep in mind, if you don't use proper eclipse glasses, you could permanently damage your eye. Proper glasses block out over 99% of visible light and radiation. If you are in the FM area, one place that might still have glasses, the Casey's General Store on the south side of Highway 10 in Dilworth. They told us their truck is making a delivery tomorrow, so they might have some eclipse glasses for sale. There's a new bicycle playground and skate park near Madison Elementary in North Fargo. It's the first of its kind in the city, giving kids a chance to skate and ride their bikes around obstacles and tunnels. It also has what is called a pump track designed for beginners. The park was paid for by several groups as a private-public partnership, including Shields and the Legacy Children's Foundation. The newest advancements in technology were on display in Fargo today. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum giving the keynote address for the 2017 State of Technology. There were plenty of demonstrations, including from the 119th Wing of the Air National Guard, Microsoft, and NDSU Innovation Challenge winners, among others. U.S. North Dakota Senator John Hoeven was also there. He says that North Dakota is poised for another booming industry, along with agricultural and energy production.
And so the third wave of job growth is this tech entrepreneurship, and it's these new jobs, this new economic activity driven by technology. That's what this is all about.
The senator says that this event is important because it brings some of the brightest entrepreneurs and tech visionaries from the community together and helps shine a light on their innovations that are changing the world. Still